talking about Aquarius season, like just all of the Aquarian things, all of the Aquarius, all of the energy of Aquarius, and I could not be more excited. In episode 46, happening tonight, we are deep diving into that Aquarian energy, that visionary energy of the water bearer. But there's more. Pluto is about ready to ingress into Aquarius for the second time, and we are also going to talk about Pluto's journey through Aquarius in this episode as well. So, join us as we explore the boundless possibilities of this new era and the impact of Pluto's presence and what that might look like when he finally officially ingresses for the last time into Aquarius in November of this year. It's definitely a cosmic revolution that you don't want to miss out on. So make sure you stay with us as we learn the astrology and we play around with some tarot and we unlock Aquarius season together. So before we even get started, you can see the setup's a little bit different. I am using a different way to get out. I don't know if it was Mercury retrograde. I'm not really sure what was happening, but I noticed that for my ex followers, that the stream wasn't coming through, or it did go through, but then it wasn't sticking. So we're going to take a hot little second and check in, make sure that X is up and running. Oh, look, I see us there. I see it. It's happening. All right, we are live. I like it. So if you are joining me on X, welcome. This is not only streamed to X, it's also streamed to Twitch and YouTube as well. So I'm glad, hopefully, we have no more issues with that. So here we go. Let's start out like we always do with cleaning out the broom closet. On 1/9, we have the Sun in Capricorn trining Uranus retrograde in Taurus. That is today, 19 degrees, 13 minutes. And Mars in Capricorn sextiles Saturn in Pisces at 4 degrees, 6 minutes. Then on 1/10, the Sun in Capricorn will square the North Node in Aries. Ooh, Queen of Cups flipped. Oh, we've got two. Hold on. We got cards flipping over all over the place. We have the Queen of Cups flipping over, as well as the Page of Swords. So we have the Sun in Capricorn squaring the North Node in Aries, 20 degrees, 8 minutes. Um, there's some truth coming out. I love how they're looking at each other. Look at that. We talk about the sun squaring the north node. Squares can be that a little bit of intensity, but here I do feel like this conversation with the sun, having it be in Capricorn, the north node being in Aries, getting kind of us prepped and ready for our journey that we're going to be going through with these eclipse seasons coming up in 2024. I feel like there's a good flow and exchange of energy between these two cards, and just even looking at them, there's insight, but it is well received. There's illumination, but it's not something to that like rocks your boat that you don't know how to handle, you don't know what to do with. It's very, even for this square, it's very, to me, this is feeling very understood. It's feeling very accomplished. It's feeling very, that's the piece that I was missing. Got it. Now I can go forward. And a deeper level of maturity and understanding than before. And that may be what this Sun Capricorn square the North Node in Aries comes out for you on tomorrow. And with that energy, it could be you see your growth. You see your self mastery. You that illuminates for you how far you've come on this journey of like, man, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have taken it that way. This shit would have gone sideways. I know how I would have handled it. But now there is this level again of that self mastery in Capricorn. On the 11th, the Capricorn new moon, which we did talk about in the last episode, which is up now on YouTube and on X. You can go back and check that out. Capricorn new moon at 20 degrees 44 minutes. And on the same day, Venus in Sagittarius. Woo, hello. Five of Swords coming out. Venus in Sagittarius will trine Chiron in Aries at 15 degrees 34 minutes. I mean, if this doesn't speak to Chiron in Aries, I don't I don't know what, like, outside of the hermit, which this cloaked figure in the Seven of Swords always does remind me of the hermit. It's got a very hermit-like energy to it. With that Capricorn new moon, with Venus in Sagittarius trining Chiron, Chiron really beginning to work up to the great Chiron eclipse in April. There's something here that, even with that Capricorn new moon, just thinking through it on a portal day, by the way, 111, there's, it's kind of this decision. What are we leaving behind? What are we bringing forward? um what are things that might have held us back in the past we don't need to hold back and hold on to going into 2024. I've talked a lot about this in different episodes and different venues, but there's something very much about 2024 that's like, you got to leave the past where the past is. The past has got to stay where it is. Like, continuing to bring, like, the sins of the past, all of these things, the traumas, the death, the destruction, the old habits and patterns, the things that are no longer serving you, bringing that forward into where we're going. Again, if you've watched the overview, it's, we're not headed out of the storm, we're headed into the storm. And none of this ain't, it's going to do you no good in a storm. None of this is going to help you when chaos hits, when we get into some of the more challenging energies that then are also going to, again, we're going into the storm, going into the eye. We're not in the eye. So that means we've got multiple years to come where it gets a little more intense year after year after year. So there's something there on the 11th. And then on the 12th, we're going to actually dive into the 12th as part of kind of the overview before we get into Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius. But just kind of like running through the 12th, we have Sirius in Sagittarius trining the North Node in Aries, 20 degrees, 2 minutes. Then Mars in Capricorn will trine Jupiter in Taurus, 5 degrees, 51 minutes. Then Pallas Athena in Scorpio will sextile Juno in Virgo, 21 degrees, 52 minutes. The Sun, which is in Capricorn, will be trining Juno as well, 21 degrees, 52 minutes. Then the Sun sextiles Pallas Athena, 21:54. And then at the end of all of that, at the end of all of that, Juno stations retrograde in Virgo at 21 degrees, 52 minutes. So the 12th has a lot of energy that, again, we'll focus on that as we get kind of more into everything. But I want to round out cleaning out the broom closet first. On the 13th, Mercury will ingress into the sign of Capricorn again. Love a good Mercury in Cap. That means we've got a lot of Capricorn energy. January is just setting us up something solid. I love um Seven of Cups came out. Yeah, it's like a buffet. It is like January is the month. It's the buffet. It's the choose your own adventure to this month. Get the things going that you need to get done. You have a lot of options on the table, and these options don't just have to stay in the clouds. You can actually bring them and ground them into the earth. You can make them actually tangible. Begin to pull some of this harvest out of the ground and into your coffers, etc. On the 14th, Venus in Sagittarius will trine the North Node in Aries at 19 degrees, 39 minutes. And then on the 15th, the Sun in Capricorn will sextile Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees, 21 minutes. And we've got the Four of Cups coming out with the Sun and Neptune. I love that. I love that little sextile. I love the embrace. I love the understanding. I love the Neptunianness of it all. The kind of, hey, there's something here that you can see, but you can't quite yet bring down to the earth. You can't quite yet bring it in. The sun is illuminating what is possible. The sun is giving you that information about what is to come, what is out there. What is Neptune gifting, bringing in that higher perspective, the higher knowledge, the um more connectedness, that intuitive hit. It's just it's just not down on the earth yet. which is where it's going to come. Those are the next steps. It might be this kind of like figmenty dream where you're like, oh shit, I can do that. Okay. Okay, cool. I got that. Excellent. All right, so that was cleaning out the broom closet. Let us take a deeper dive into this January 12th energy. Definitely be using these as we talk about it to get all of the messages. Before, I want to break these apart into a few different little pieces. So, all before Juno retrogrades in Virgo, all of this energy builds up to this retrograde on that day. But that's where I want to start is what is Juno retrograde in Virgo? First of all, what's Juno? What's Virgo? Like we can break those two pieces apart. So Juno is an asteroid and it is aligned with the energy, the goddess energy of relationships, family, marriage, and commitments. Then you have the sign of Virgo, which is commitments as well, health, the work, organization, detail, analysis, helping. It's kind of all of like that sixth house energy, which Virgo rules. And so when Juno, this goddess energy, retrogrades in Virgo, it's truly about taking time to reflect on how the Virgo signatures, the commitments, the health, the work, the organization, the analysis, the detail orienting, the health, all of those, how are those signatures applied to your relationships? How are they how are they applied to your commitments? How are they applied to the things that you hold true and dear, like your family, like your marriage, and I mean, that could even include deep relationships with your friends, those kind of like soul brother, soul sister relationships. So it's these deep relationships that truly have a lot of impact and meaning in our life, whatever that looks like for you. Could be a very like a really strong mentor in your life that you look up to and you've been mentoring with for a very long time. So it is in deep self-improvement. It's a time when when Juno is retrograde in Virgo, deep self-improvement, seeing how you want to show up differently. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, yay, look. I love this. The Six of Cups, sorry, I had to look at it because it was just it's like the word that is coming up is darling. It's so darling, the Six of Cups showing up right now, and the Page of Cups. So a lot of water energy, a lot of that emotion. This to me is within the water. It's not so much of the emotional, but the reflection of. That's what these two cards really I'm hearing represent as we're talking about this Juno retrograde in Virgo. It's the reflection that the water provides you. It's a reflection that of the emotions, the emotional states, the people that you hold dear, the wanting to have that deep, resounding self-improvement. Um, how you want to show up differently in your relationships, how you want to show up differently for your commitments, how do you want to cultivate patience with your relationships and your commitments? How and with yourself as you're going down the journey of accomplishing things, of being the other party in the relationship? How are you developing your understanding of what that means for you and what that looks like? It's self analysis, it's being aware, it's the awareness of how what you do affects others. There is this, with this six, there's this like even this page actually more so. Let me put this page up front because when we talk about the awareness on how what you do affects others, that to me I see represented in this card. Here you have the page, the you being the representative of the page. What this page does affects this fish. It affects the other. It affects the emotional resonance of those around you. Your energy, what you put out and put forth into the world, ripples into other people. And we are all connected. So, you doing things on your path, on your timeline, showing up the way you need to show up, allows others to show up in the same way and accomplish what they need to on the timeline. We are all individual, yet all still so connected. So, how can you be coming back to this darling card, this Six of Cups? How can you be more of service in your relationships? How can you, um, cultivate the patience? Like these are all beautiful, like white lilies. How can you cultivate that peace? And then Juno is meeting up with the sun and Pallas Athena. So before stationing retrograde, here comes the sun, here comes Pallas Athena. Layer that in with Ceres, the North Node, Mars, and Jupiter, and all in super supportive sextiles. Let me pull this back up. All in super supportive sextiles, super supportive trines. It is quite literally a flow of information. It is, here's what it is. And it's not like, this is why I think the word darling's coming up, because it's not confrontational. It's darling. It's just a lovely conversation that either you are having with one of these people that you consider part of that relationship for group that you have, that brings your awareness of where your work might be or where you have done the work and it is appreciated. It can be this really amazing time of just that deep understanding on the 12th, and maybe something comes into your awareness about where you need to go to, and it's supportive. It's not a fight against it. It's the acceptance of, and it's really finding ways to truly cease what you can from this moment to bring it into the future, because you've got all of this flow of information happening. But the North Node is here, which is always pointing towards where you're going on your next timeline, where your soul is taking you down your destiny path. And so this moment is allowing this flow of information to say, hey, look, this is where we've got to go. This is where we got to go to achieve this stop point. We got these Six of Cups, this stop point, this stop point, this stop point. All of these are a different stop point on your journey. And then you really get to expand on it more and really harvest the bounty from your growth. All of those sixes, all of those cups, that is where this Jupiter and Mars conversation can really come into play, where Jupiter and Mars can help you expound on it. They can say, hey, this is how we take action and really pull the most we can from this time, from this moment in time. And then with Sirius in the North Node, because the North Node is very close to Chiron, so I'm kind of bringing Chiron into this picture. What do you need to be comfortable with this? So here we have this ability to expand. Here we have something that came into our awareness. Here we have this flow of information. If there's anything that, again, I don't feel it as a, oh, I don't like that. It's more so this, yep, I accept and receive that. But what do you need to do to feel comfortable with your next steps going forward? And that all happens right after the Capricorn new moon. So big 2 days, big week this week within the energy. And then we kind of trickle on, and we'll chat next week a little bit. But this week, now we finally get to focus on the star of the show, Aquarius. And I will never forget hearing Richard Levine, who is a very well known, prominent astrologer, say in a video, I think it was on the Astrology podcast, where he talked about being an Aquarian. And now I like that lives rent free in my head. I can never not call I like Aquarius, and I always want to go Aquarian. It's a whole thing. But Aquarius season. Love Aquarius as a sign. Love this time of year. Love the energy of Aquarius. And let's get, whoa, look, and all the cards just wanted to come out. We have Strength coming out, the 10 of Cups, woo, the Knight of Cups. There's some good energy here as we begin to dive into Aquarius season. We'll leave these out and see what else wants to come up as we dive in. Okay, Aquarius. let's get into it. Ruled by Saturn traditionally, modern ruler is Uranus. It is a positive energy sign, masculine energy. It is fixed. So it's a fixed sign between our cardinal and our mutable. And it is an air sign. Its term and phrase is I know. It rules ankles and circulation. The glyph or the representation of Aquarius is the water bearer. So you'll either see it as a urn or a jug of water being poured out, or you'll actually see it as a body, man, woman pouring out the water, and it is aligned, and the energy has been out front with the star tarot card. So I have this down as kind of like our permeating energy throughout this whole Twitchy Tuesday episode. But you can see, I mean, even the star itself as the water bearer, right? You have the kneeling woman with the jug or the urn flowing out the water, and that water bearer energy signature. So let's talk a little bit as I look at these other cards. Let's talk a little bit about Aquarius energy in general, kind of really ground in, and then we'll end with what does it mean when Pluto, some massive transformative planet like Pluto, gets into Aquarius. So Aquarius has this really interesting dualism to it, which I quite love, that Uranus is the modern ruler, Saturn being the traditional ruler. For me personally, I do use both rulerships. Um, I don't just focus on one or the other. I think all things have that kind of value to it. But when we talk about Aquarius and Uranus and Saturn, there's similarities, approaches are different. And Uranus has more of that signature of liberation, the, shaking things up to be liberated, where Saturn wants that liberation to come from responsibility and structure and putting things into place. Once that liberation has occurred, that allows for that structure to be here. But ultimately, regardless if you're speaking on Saturn and Uranus, their roles are our gift givers. Uranus bringing the otherworldly gifts, the gifts of transformation, revolution, liberation, where Saturn brings the gifts down in earth into yourself of, because you have done X, X, and X within the boundaries of it, here is your gift of achievement. It is truly through our work and through our experiences and our learnings that we receive the greatest gift, the gift of knowledge. So these two dualistic really show up even in the cup and in the signature and the sign for Aquarius itself. So here you have Saturn as the jug, the urn, whatever you want to call this, the cup that the water comes in. It's the structure of things. Flowing out is your water, the water bearer. I bear the responsibility of flowing things. New things have to come out. I bear the responsibility of liberation. I bear the responsibility of making sure that things continue to churn and continue to move forward, and we are not just stagnant inside of Saturn alone, inside of the container, the structure alone. So Aquarius really flexes between these two, and that is truly where the magic is in Aquarius. It's that thriving between. It's the organized chaos is a really fun term for Aquarius, this organized chaos. As Aquarius energy, there is a responsibility. There's strength, a responsibility of liberation. It is the courage to be liberated. It's the courage to understand, with the Knight of Cups, to understand that the true liberation, The liberation, this 10 of cups, the true liberation can only come from within. It is through liberating self that we begin shared experiences. We begin to again liberate others, giving others permission to liberate themselves, seeing that it is possible, understanding what that could look like. And that is the gift, but it all comes from that strength, that knowingness, the knowledge and the courage to do so, which then leads us right into Pisces, which is the belief that now you are liberated, you can join back with source, whatever that looks like for you. So, Aquarius in itself is a highly intellectual sign, very crystal, very clear, very sharp, very cold. Just there. It is crisp. Like all I can ever think about with Aquarius is how crispy it is. It's just like crispy. I'm going to use that word probably 5 more times. I will try to refrain myself. This can often be observed as, that impersonal, maybe detached. And that is because Aquarius does not operate within the emotional realm very well at all. They are logical, logic to the extreme. The logical realm is where they reside, they thrive. So it's really interesting that these cups are here because cups often signify that energy of that emotion. And it's not that emotions aren't present, right? Emotions are there. It's not that there's this lack or devoid of emotion. In fact, it's quite opposite. But it's more so about the knowledge and the truth that Aquarius has that allows for you to level out of that emotional realm because it's kind of like, and this even gets into Pisces a little bit too. It's kind of like that. Well, we all know where this ends. So why am I going to waste time and get into the emotional arguments with you? Why am I going to waste my time playing in this emotional realm when we all know where we're going? So let's just get there as quickly, logically as possible. Let's shake shit up while we're here. So again, when I talk about impersonal or detached, and it can be observed as that, that is other people's perspectives from them, right? That's what they feel when an Aquarius is, especially if you have planets or points or heavy Aquarius energy, is kind of shown up in front as like, man, that person's kind of like impersonal about things. No, actually, they're just factual about things. So, there's a large questing energy. I love that that comes out here in this Knight of Cups too. There's this Aquarius has this energy. It's like this deeper need, this driving force to align and understand the truth of things, to be able to, this Knight of Cups, they're giving me the image of, oh my gosh, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, where the knight was there. And like that, this whole scene where the knight from the Knights Templar is there and he has all of this knowledge, he has all of this wisdom. Like that to me, that knight embodies the Aquarian style energy, right? Especially that Saturnian responsibility. Like I was liberated, this knight was liberated by drinking out of the cup of Christ. I have been liberated up to my highest self, but it is my responsibility to stay here, stay in this cave, learning and gaining more deeper understanding and knowledge and protecting that knowledge from others that are coming to quest. But it is through my quest that I found this. So it's this really interesting, like, I want to go find, and I love that the stars here. It's like this, again, that duality. I want to go find and quest, but when I find, How do I make it even deeper? Then how do I pass that along to others? Because Aquarius ruling the 11th house, it is a lot about that community and sharing what you now know with others, pouring into others as you pour into yourself, self being on the ground, pouring into others being in the great water, the great sea of connectedness. And it is truly in the knowledge of that truth, the knowledge of whatever truth that they find, that Aquarians are able to feel the freedom to bring the creativity. Going back to strength, creativity, Aquarius and Leo are on the access point, meaning the opposite sign to Aquarius is Leo. Here we have Leo right here with the strength. But that creativity that starts in Leo, it's it's the truth unlocks that creativity and innovation to life. Because if I know the truth of all things, which is we're here for a finite time, right? Like that could just be the general truth. It is the truth, but in the context of this conversation, now I, as an Aquarius energy, have all that I need to get all of the bullshit out of the way, get straight up into my strength, get straight up into my creativity and innovation, and allow nothing to hold me back. It can show up as futuristic. It can show up as pioneers of change. It can show up as, I mean, I think about like, and I don't know this, but this is just an example, like the person who wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That to me is Aquarian style energy. Here you have a book that was written ages before the technology was even available to have a submarine. But that's what they wrote about. It's that early visionary sort of energy, this pioneer of change of this is possible. It is possible. So what do we need to do to get there? They can also be very early adapters of change, of technology, of things that move humanity forward. They're also not ones to be concerned with, or quite frankly, could really despise, like just outright despise constraints of any kind, whether that's constraints of society, constraints of idealism, anything like that. Like that's just, that doesn't fit in the MO with the Aquarian energy. And we call that often rebel behavior. But for Aquarians, it's exactly as it should be. That energy of Aquarius brings in the ability to just, hey, you know what? Things are possible. How do we? Yeah, I get that your Saturn here, like I get he's a traditional ruler of my sign. I get that he wants things here, but there's more that we can do. There's other ideas that are possible. So, how do we get there? Um, they are truly the ones that change, you know, why, like they are the ones that not change, maybe challenge is a better word, challenge the rest of the signs to go, yeah, okay, but why aren't you doing it? Like, why aren't you living your best damn life? 10 of Cups. Why aren't you fully getting into your creativity and innovation of life and challenging yourself and doing those things? Why aren't you questing and finding and searching and thirsting for knowledge? Why aren't you pouring into others and giving all of that? So they have this really wonderful energy. And as a collective, as we go through Aquarius season, that those sorts of signatures, and again, this all depends upon where it is in your natal chart, what other planets you have there. I mean, it can, the complexities rise, but this sort of energy, all of the things that we just talked about that aligns with Aquarius is available as we transit through Aquarius season. And if you did watch the 2024 overview, you know we are clustered, meaning we have the sun at multiple points during Aquarius season. We will have the moon. we will have all of our personal planets all residing in Aquarius, and then Pluto will be there. Add Pluto in there. So, this energy of Aquarius is amplified, particularly in this year, where a lot of these can be, this energy can be more available to us. So, if you find that you do have, hey, you know what? I need a little bit of that creativity and innovation. I've been, head down working. Aquarius can help you open that up and bring in some of that much needed. Okay, all right, I'm looking at okay, all right, I can do a little bit more with this. So that's level setting on Aquarius itself. Let's head into Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto will get into Aquarius the 27th. Hold please while I consult my honeycomb. Um the 20th. Oh my gosh. Aquarius season starts on the 20th. Pluto ingresses. How could I forget that? Because they are going to conjunct its. Anyways, yes, Pluto on the 20th. We'll head into Aquarius. Then Pluto will go on his merry journey, getting in his feet wet. Well, I should say his feet in the air again through Aquarius, getting into the mix a little bit, and then will retrograde, head back for the very final time into Capricorn, and then will ingress back into Aquarius in November, where he will stay for 20 years. Um, this is one of those moments, Pluto changes signs about every 20 years. So obviously for myself, I have been alive when Pluto got into Capricorn, and has changed signs before, but this is the first time for me personally that I have this sort of knowledge. I study astrology now and do all of these things. So this for me is really an exciting time. It's an exciting time to have that kind of higher level of understanding, to be witness and bear witness to not only my own experience but to others' experiences as Pluto goes into Aquarius. It's it's phenomenal. Like this is kind of mind-blowing stuff. So when Pluto ingresses into Aquarius, whether that's in January or for the final time in November. Oh, fixed signs. Here we go. Here we grow again, fixed signs. Here we grow again. So he will have an opposition to Leo. So if you are looking at your natal chart and you have planets, points, luminaries, anything of that nature, or any of your cardinal lines there, Pluto will be in opposition to anything that you have in Leo and to your Leo house for 20 years. Yay. Um, Squares, he'll be squaring the Gemini, Sagittarius, trining Cancer, Scorpio. I mean, it's just, fixed signs. Here we grow again. Here we grow again. So, yay, we are very excited. Again, I am personally excited for Pluto and Aquarius. As a fixed sun, I was very, Leo sun especially, I was very much looking forward to the breathing room. I've enjoyed the breathing room. And again, now it's time to get back to work. Pluto's here to say it's time to get back to work. The one thing that I do love about Pluto transits is it's changes over time. This is a 20-year transit. So things aren't, yes, you're going to see things happen. Day one, you're going to see, I mean, we saw it when Pluto ingressed into Aquarius the first time. I witnessed it myself in my own, like how I was using technology, the things that I was using, the things that came into my awareness around technology and other mediums. So I did definitely see that there were themes that came up this first time round. So we're going to be building into those themes. And then as we build into those themes, they layer and layer and layer. It is consistent change and transformation over time across multiple facets that truly lead to our paradigm shift. And that paradigm shift ends up being literally of epic proportions. So, thinking about Pluto's time in Capricorn, all the work that he's done there, and the epic proportions that we have changed in the Capricorn areas of things. So, this is this is what Pluto does. And we have time to get into it. We have time to be that observer. Yes, some things are going to hit, some things are going to need to change quickly, but we are all in this journey together. And, um, even with the excitement, I do think that there's need to have a healthy respect for what's going to be required of us. Pluto doesn't mess around. Pluto transits don't mess around. Pluto in Aquarius is not going to mess around. It is absolutely transforming humanity. And there is a level of respect there. They're like, yo, sis, what you doing with these cards over here? We got things to say. Thank you, ancestors. Um, there's a respect that we all have to give to say there is going to be work required of humanity. There's going to be work required of us. Stop. We've got things to say. Tower falls out. You can stop yourself. I mean, we got work. Respect the lightning, respect the change, respect the transformation, respect the fact that there is going to be things required of us in order to bring forth the new world we're all going to be living in, the transformation we're all going to be going through. Um, this is my personal opinion. I truly believe that Pluto is setting the stage right here, Tower coming out to just align with it. Pluto is setting the stage for humanity's transformation through its demise. That is truly what I believe with Pluto in Aquarius. I believe he who holds the technology holds the power. I think that that is going to be a consistent, very strong underlying current. It's going to be like the tree trunk, not a branch. It is going to be part of the core root system of Pluto in Aquarius is this movement of technology and what that means from a power structure. Where does the power go? Who owns that power? Who holds that power? What do they do with it when they have it? I think we're going to see shifts within that. When you talk about he who holds the technology holds the power, define he. Is that AI? Is that technology itself? Because who holds technology but technology? These are all kind of like crazy, wild questions that I think over the course of the 20 years, we're going to be tower momenting through. I think we're going to see a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. I think that there's going to be, um, again, transition transition into your next stage does not come without tower moments and deep ones. And if it needs to stick for our future, for humanity's future, for the earth's future, then there's going to be a lot of reckoning coming, because that's what Pluto wants. Pluto wants the highest for humanity, the transformation needed to ensure that humanity thrives and survives. So, um, I think that there are a lot of things already with Pluto and Aquarius, and we've got the Three of Cups coming out as well as the Hierophant. So with Pluto and Aquarius, I do think that some of the things that we are seeing or are going to see, I think they've been here for quite a long time. I think that this journey, this Three of Cups, this collective process that we're going to be experiencing as Pluto does this transit, I think that this is so rooted and so needed. Like, I look at this and I think nothing more but our ancestral ties, how long humanity has been here, which, quite frankly, in the grand scheme of things, is literally nothing. Like, it is less than a blink of an eye. But there is such rich connection, there's such rich history, there is such rich DNA codes that we are able to unlock, understandings, wisdom, um, things. I feel a lot of this maybe even there's this kind of balance. Like, yes, Pluto in Aquarius is about the technology and all of that, but is part of that technology unlocking the secrets of our past, the secrets of our ancestors, the deep rooted unlocking of our DNA, and the things that were lost from the past, the things that we can't answer, the things we don't understand. I mean, like, great example for how did the pyramids get here? There's answers somewhere out there. This Pluto in Aquarius may hold the key to that technology that unlocks those answers. And technology is not just these computers. That's what we think about in this day and age. At one point in time, the Hierophant coming through. At one point in time, the wheel was technology. I mean, it still is part of technology, but that was a bizarre new world and new thing. Lights, cell phones. I I'm 40. I grew up in a world where we didn't have these things. We didn't have them. These didn't exist when I was a young tyke. I was just a baby. They weren't here, and now they are. So we can't get wrapped up in the word. That is part of the Aquarius that we just talked through with that energy. Is it's not just as simple technology being computers, technology being AI, technology being robotics, technology. Get in and expand what that word means. Use Aquarius to blow and shake up what that word means. Technology could be clairvoyance. That can be a form of technology where we get to connect back with the things. The Hierophant being here, there's something very deep. This card is giving me all of the vibes of he who holds the technology holds the power. All of the vibes. Um, I think that, in speaking through the AI revolution, I was thinking a lot about this because I do feel AI is part of Pluto and Aquarius energy. This is all, again, just personal observations, personal thought processes. Pluto in Aquarius does have this AI signature to it. However, I don't think it is the story of Pluto in Aquarius. I don't even think it's like, I don't even think it's like a whole segment of it. Like, if I looked at Pluto and Aquarius as a tree, like, it's one little branch that we go down and we have and this. I think, though, this AI revolution, which has been around for a while, this is not something unique to this last year. It's not something that hasn't been studied, talked about. Like, it's been building to this. I think that it is a branch, but there's something deeper here with Pluto and Aquarius that it connects to the actual tree. It's not the tree itself. And I think that things like that is going to be what our puzzle is to figure out over the next 20 years. As Pluto finally gets into Aquarius in November, as Pluto does his due diligence and finalizes things in Capricorn, and we can kind of walk away from Pluto in Capricorn and get a little bit away from it and be able to, like, do that deep analysis and do that understanding and that logical think, and that questing in that Aquarius, to go back and go, okay, what really did we learn from Pluto and Capricorn? And that might help us kind of piece this puzzle together of what Pluto and Aquarius may be coming up from. And again, Pluto will segment a part of your natal chart too. So there's the collective experience that I'm speaking more to, but then there is your own individual and personal experience that you're going to have with your own natal chart, the planets and points that are in the Aquarian sign for you, and where that's placed in what house. Um, just to talk through some of the things that I have on my Pluto and Aquarius bingo card. So we'll see, we'll check back in over the 20 years, see if any of these, if we can get bingo. So I think animal language systems are very much a real possibility, meaning, it's we finally find a way to actually talk or interpret animal language. Definitely think that's a Pluto and Aquarius could be possibility. um Healing through sound, and this is already here. Healing through sound is very well known. There's been multiple studies about it, and what I mean though is, again, it's not that it hasn't been here before, but we unlock a new level with Pluto and Aquarius. We go to that next, we go to that next stage in what that means. The technology opens up to where now maybe healing through sound becomes a norm versus maybe, like medication or something of that nature. So it's taking it and it's transforming it into its next level. Um, Definite advancements in bionics. I think bionics are going to be a huge thing over the next 20 years. Curing of major disease. Now, again, we have these cures already. It's not like that's ever stopped, but Pluto and Aquarius may open up that kind of timeline and that energy signature that allows things to, like, it's like one after the other, like, all, whoa, holy cow. Longevity of life science. So having that, having a science modality, which there is already one out there, but they really begin to unlock the longevity of life and how we live longer, how we maybe even not so much as a longevity of life in a human perspective, but in a consciousness perspective. I think there's going to be some interesting things with that coming up. Um, Full integration with technology. We have smart homes. This is already a thing. We already have integration with technology. But again, Pluto taking it to the next level, which would be something like Friday on Iron Man, right? Having an actually integrated system where we are fully integrated with the technology that's around us. And that also could be Neuralink, things of that nature. I think we are going to see an overhaul of the education system. And I actually have on my bingo card STEM trade schools, where we kind of gear most training and education overhaul, but it's really focused in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics areas. Again, the overhaul of the education system. I do think we are about ready to see what I'm calling a genius explosion. And not that there will be more, maybe there will be more, I don't know, just genius explosion, but it could come in a way of we have more geniuses, or we have better capabilities to find more genius that's already out there. And I do think we're going to see a great divide. Don't know what that means. Have no idea what that would even look like, but it was channeled and the great divide ended up on my bingo card. We'll see. I think thirst for power. I think that's going to be a really big thing. Thirst for the technology, thirst for those that have power. I think we're going to, again, that might go into that great divide. This thirst to have and hold the technology that holds the power. Um, I think it's very possible that we will see our first interplanetary or orbital living, where full time you live out interplanetary or at least within the Earth's orbit. Private communal living. I think that we're going to see more private communal living, even a possibility of a rise in cults or what we would consider cults in today's day and age might not look the same in the future. So reserve space for what that word means as Pluto transits through here. But that's on my bingo card. And then the last one that I had may have more as we go along, but the last one that I had on my Pluto and Aquarius bingo card is having standardized time and mass systems. So the entire world going to like a UTC, a universal time, and for the love of all things, getting the whole world on the metric system. That is, I totally get that's an American thing, drives me bananas. I was not born and raised in America, so metrics preferred over here too. But having that unified and standardized, right? Very Saturn structure wise, that Aquarius energy of time, math, so that way we are all moving forward in our evolution. We're all moving forward um in our the Aquarian words. Oh my gosh. In our quest for knowledge at in the same time, in the same frame, in the same way. So, that is my Pluto and Aquarius bingo card overview. Before we dive into this week's Twitchy tip, I'd like to extend an invitation to all Twitchy seekers out there. If you are enjoying your journey, consider giving us some blessings by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, or following if you are watching this live on X, and checking out our other Twitchy videos. We also are incredibly active on X. That's one of my favorite platforms, along with YouTube. And you get exclusive content on X that you can't find on any of the other platforms. So if you are using X, give us a follow over there. That's not all, though. We have launched getting Capricorn season right, using this January energy to the best of its ability. We have launched our first two transformative classes of 2024, IFA Astrology and Astrovision 2024. So IFA Astrology is a paid course that will launch actually in Aquarius season. We are taking pre-sales right now. And we are offering limited spots into this class. So it's essential to secure your spot early. I'm not going to go into the details. You can definitely find out more. And I will tell you how in just a second, because it is the same space as Astrovision 2024, which is your year-long learning and guidance for all of the astrology of 2024. This program is for free. You're right. I said it. Faux free. We cover in depth the astrology of the month, of the quarter, excuse me. And by joining free, you will also get additional perks in that course. So you can find all of those details, both about IFA astrology and Astrovision 2024, by heading to www.habitualsages.com. Oh, right there. You can see it. Boom. It's been just staring you in the face this whole time. Or if you are on YouTube and watching it on YouTube, you can find the link in the description box below. And then by subscribing to our channel and becoming part of the Sage Circle, you will be the first to know about new offerings like these classes. And you get to join us on our mission to help 1 million people heal, thrive, and grow. Now let's dive into this Twitchy tip of the week and then get out of here. All right, let me put these thank you cards. Twitchy tip of the week. This truly is a great week for self exploration and really diving into the things that you need to truly make your harvest as bountiful as it can be. I think the energy is really, really prime for that self exploration. It's really prime and very powerful for journaling, meditation, dancing, enjoying things that get you in some sort of flow state, yoga, walking, whatever that means and looks like for you. But giving yourself space to self reflect, to think, to contemplate, to understand who you are now, what you're bringing into 2024, where you're going. Now that, if you did set goals at the beginning of the year, or if you set goals at the witch's new year, or if you're setting goals soon, whatever that looks like, where are you at within that journey? Now that you've got your big vision in your picture, now that you know what you want to harvest and bring in for this year, in this 8 year, who do you need to become, or who do you need to remain in order to accomplish all of that? And these are all things that you can reflect on. And it is a really beautiful week to do so. A question I will leave you to get started with, we kind of already had stated earlier, but I think this is a really great starting question for everyone. How can you be more of service in your relationships with others, and your relationship with yourself? How can you be more of service? And see where that question takes you. As we wrap up this mystical journey tonight, remember to stay tuned for more cosmic revelations every Twitchy Tuesday. Until next time, may your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my fellow Twitchy seekers. Blessed be. And